1993 Topps Derek Jeter, rookie card, a classic for the ages. Even if collectors didn't fully realize it at the time, the 1993 Topps Derek Jeter rookie card was a time machine back to another hobby era. After all, this was the tall end of the age of the junk wax, when card companies were thrashing about like a pack of pre-teens trying to figure out exactly who they were and where they belonged. Following the advent of Upper Deck in 1989 and Leaf in 1990, the market was suddenly awash in premium and super premium baseball cards that sent per-pack prices spiraling each spring and threatening to push the young set from the hobby. Sound familiar? For the most part, collectors enjoyed the uptick in cardstock quality, the whiz-bang gadgetry of new cards and packaging technologies, and most of all, the chase of high-end inserts featuring autographs, hunks of bats and balls, and one of X scarcities that we could have only dreamed about in earlier decades. Of course, we'd eventually find out through sheer glut and fully saturated demand that there were plenty of most cards to go around and then some, and too many choices for the long-term secondary market to absorb. Standing in stark contrast to all that noise in the hobby was 1993 Topps. Sure, TCG had finally relented to longtime collector demand in 1992 by swapping out the old brown grill they used as cardstock for decades in favor of a more premium hard white offering. And yes, Topps joined in the push towards eye-searing premium photography, and they even jumped into the parallel and chase game with their gold and black gold inserts. Topps wasn't immune to the ravages of money either, and they paid for all that innovation with a 69-cent price tag for the wax packs. That was a huge 14-cent or 25% increase over 1992, but at least it was still well south of the dollar mark, and still yielded 15 cards at a shot, and still came in actual wax wrappings. And for the first time in 20 years, Topps issued their base set in series, with Series 1 running through card number 396 and Series 2 tacking on an even 400 to the tally. It was there in the first run of 1993's that we first encountered young Mr. Jeter on card number 98. Now, Jeter was far from unknown, considering that the mighty New York Yankees had taken him with the number 6 overall pick in the 1992 Major League Draft. That's pretty high-profile stuff, no matter how you slice it. But consider that it had been nearly a dozen years since the Yankees made it to the postseason. The most recent Yankees phenom to make the hobby splash was Brian Taylor, and though the worst was yet to come, he had yet to live up to his hype. Jeter was just 18 years old when this card was issued, and headed into his first full season of pro ball. Nothing was guaranteed, in other words. But this card had a lot going for it, starting with just how bright it was. The colors and the bright white cardstock really pop. And it also had going for it just how bright Jeter's future was. Yes, all those caveats applied, but he was a Yankees prospect, and you knew that that would carry plenty of weight until Jeter proved it shouldn't. And, well, this thing had a classic look that belied its era. I mean, take away the Topps logo and the 1992 draft pick, and the overall brightness of the thing, and what you know about Derek Jeter, and what's left? A young player doing his thing on the top of a drawing of a baseball diamond. Effective, simple, striking. Reminiscent of the 1953 Bowman Pee Wee Reese classic of the early tobacco and candy cards, of the 1953 Topps cards. And maybe most of all reminiscent of those gorgeous play ball and Gaudi cards of the 1930s. Now, the back of Jeter's Topps card was undoubtedly early 1990s loud. But did you notice what's not there on the colorful reverse? Yes, for better or worse, there's no image on the back of the card, just stats and good old human baseball interest information. It would be another 2 years until Jeter debuted in the Bronx, and 3 until he began the Rookie of the Year campaign in 1996 that would reignite the Yankees dynasty and set their shortstop on a Hall of Fame path. That simple 1993 Topps Derek Jeter rookie card was waiting for us to discover it when the fireworks began, and while it's not even close to being the captain's most valuable rookie card, about $80 in PSA 9 and around $500 in PSA 10, it just may be the most classic. WaxPackGods.com